What is up, fellow gamers? Let me just start this video by saying that this was one of the most difficult lists I've ever had to decide on, because as any Crash veteran knows, these games, or at least some of these games, Twinsanity! had some of the greatest video game music I've ever heard in them. The Naughty Dog games had their soundtrack produced by the uber-talented Josh Mansell, who also returned to compose the soundtrack for their Jak and Daxter series later on the PS2. Mansell is also responsible for the theme song for Clifford the Big Red Dog, which bears a striking resemblance to Crash Bandicoot's music. But unfortunately, I am way too lazy to download the Clifford theme song, so if you want to make the comparison yourself, you're just gonna have to look it up on your own, pal. But enough of the backstory, let's get on with this countdown. This song is by no means the pinnacle of the Crash 1 soundtrack, but it's just so unique as opposed to the other songs in this game. I'm not sure why, but I can't help but love it. Just take a listen. Wait. Before anyone jumps into the comments to send hate about why would you pick such a stupid game to use for a song, hear me out. Sure, Crash Nitro Kart is just a mediocre attempt to recreate Crash Team Racing, but it has one hell of a main theme. Just listen to this, it's so epic. This song is like the only memorable thing about this entire game. Most people criticize the bosses in Crash Bandicoot 2 for being too easy, which I can agree with to a certain extent. I think Tiny Tiger is the exception, but mostly what made him awesome and stand apart from the other bosses in the game was his theme. It's intense, it's intimidating, it's exciting. The music sounds like something they'd play over a really intense sports game or something. It was the only boss music in the second game that really fit to the character it was paired with. This music is pure nostalgia. It brings up so many memories of numerous deaths, rage quitting, and tears. So many tears. Anyway, as a kid, Entropy was the hardest boss for me to defeat in Crash 3 by far. But his music is so great and it fits to the character very well. I have to applaud the job that Josh Mansell did on this track. Again, nobody can give me crap in the comments about selecting something from this game just because they think that this game sucks. Say what you want about The Wrath of Cortex, but it did have a good soundtrack, and it was a really tough decision deciding whether I wanted the Warp Room theme from Warped or this game on the list, but ultimately I chose this one. And I know that's probably going to piss some people off, including myself, because I do absolutely adore the theme from Crash 3's Warp Room, but I like this one too. And I'm an indecisive little... Okay, so we all know Crash Bash has a pretty kick-ass soundtrack, and it wasn't easy to narrow down just one of them to put on this list. But that being said, Beach Ball has definitely won the number 5 slot. This track is cool because of the build-up. It starts out quiet and it's barely there, and then it slowly builds to get more intense. Until you find yourself not even paying attention to the level anymore because the music is just so good. Ah, the Great Hall. This music invokes so much happiness. It's so lighthearted and nostalgic. I went through a phase during middle school when I would make projects for class and use this as the background music for basically every video. For me, this is one of the most iconic songs in the first Crash Bandicoot. Before I talk about Engine Lab's music, I just want to say that I knew I wanted to include songs from CTR, but I had such a hard time with selecting just one because there are so many good songs in this game. It came down to the ending credits, Cortex Castle and Hot Air Skyway being the runners-up for the number 3 spot, but I had to go with Engine Labs because somehow it's my favorite. It's just so catchy. But all the other tracks I mentioned are damn catchy songs too. In my opinion, all 3 of the Cortex final boss themes in the PS1 Crash games are amazing. They're so dark yet catchy. His theme from the first game was eerie because it was slow, ominous, and unsettling. His theme from the second game was fast-paced and action-packed. But the third game really outdid itself with Cortex boss music. Oh my god, this incorporated elements from both of its predecessors and made them 10 times better. It's just so badass and fits the fight perfectly. Ugh, nostalgia! This song is simply a work of art. It's just so damn good. There's no other way to describe it. Anybody who hears this song, even if they've never played a Crash game, will immediately realize how epic it is. I know I sound like I have no reasoning for why this is number 1 on my list, but the only way I can explain it is to let you listen to this masterpiece. Josh Mansell, the world thanks you for this. Well, friends, it seems we've come to the end. So to conclude, these were my opinions on the top 10 best songs in the Crash Bandicoot series. There were so many songs I didn't get to include that I love, and games that I didn't even get to mention tracks from. And before you ask, no, Twinsanity is not included in that list. Twinsanity soundtrack and the Crash Tag Team Racing soundtrack. They are both annoying as hell and should not exist. Sorry, it had to be said. Like I said before, these were all just my personal opinions, and if you don't agree, that is fine. Just disagree nicely, alright? I don't feel like getting pointless hate for this. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, or maybe even hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment if you want to see more Crash Bandicoot related videos in the future. Oh, and if you don't like Crash Bandicoot,
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
yeah, that's all I have to say to you. I'm YourGamingSource, and I'll see you next time.